It's no exaggeration to say that high-speed rail will change the way that we live. It will change the way we work, and yes, quite literally, how we travel. It will bring fundamental change, nation-building change. It will do so by cutting travel times, slashing travel times between major urban centers. Now, as many of you know, 7 cities along the corridor between Quebec City and Toronto have already been chosen. But everything else, including the final route, the placement of the stations, we're still working on that. We are working on that based on one of the largest consultations ever undertaken for an infrastructure project in Canada, and we are very reliant on the feedback of all points of view as we go ahead and plan this project. We have heard how popular this project is, but also about important considerations, and yes, concerns that many Canadians have. And I want to acknowledge those concerns. I want to acknowledge those fears. I want to say to those who are in the agricultural sector, those who own land, we understand. I come from a farming family myself. We understand how attached people are to their farms, to their land, to their heritage, to their legacy. And I have directed Alto to proceed with extreme sensitivity, to respectfully deal with landowners who will end up along this route, this 60-meter wide corridor that has to, in most cases, travel in a straight line, because high-speed rail does not like curves. But we will proceed with the least possible impact on people's properties, with the least possible and least intrusive impact possible on our natural environment, and Canadians want us to do that as well. We will not cut corners when it comes to respect. We will not cut corners when it comes to sensitivity. One of the other things that has become very clear to us, hence our presence here today, is how strongly the people of Kingston and this area feel about being included. And today, I'm pleased to be able to say, we heard you. We also heard from those in Cornwall, in Gananoque, Napanee, in Belleville, Trenton, Cobourg, Port Hope, and yes, even Oshawa, who also want to be connected to this incredible network. So we are formally asking Alto to develop a plan to assess a southern route option between Peterborough and Ottawa that includes a stop in Kingston that would interconnect, yes, interconnect with Via Rail services, subject to technical feasibility and project requirements. I understand the fear. It's kind of the fear of the unknown. This is a major infrastructure project. You know, Mr. Sarkaria is used to managing a lot of them. A lot of the legislative proposals we've put in place are based on Quebec law and Ontario law that was used to build important public transit. This is a project for literally the common good. This is a project for people, designed for people, to help communities, to allow people to more freely live, work, play across this corridor, and also attract visitors. Alto just published a study that talks about $4 billion in additional tourist revenues. The fact is, these things generate traffic, and that is a very, very good thing, maybe even particularly a good thing for cities like Kingston. And the 401 does not always lend itself to accommodating the addition of high-speed rail, notably because of the curvature of the highway. It's quite a curvy highway. But we will apply the basic logic that we should use public right-of-ways whenever possible, for obvious reasons. And we will continue to look whether there are public right-of-ways in this area that can accommodate this project. At the same time, it is pretty obvious that you would want to have a combined service and a real hub such that Via Rail and Alto Via becomes then a feeder, part of the Alto network, if you will, You know, we have to do the thinking about precisely where would that hub be located. So that's about as far as I can go today, but I can assure you that we'll be continuing to listen to the people in Kingston as we refine those decisions. The schedule is roughly as follows. This fall, probably late this fall, we will announce the specific alignment. We've already announced that Ottawa to Montreal will be the first segment. It is the shortest segment. But what Martin calls the east and the west corridors will follow shortly thereafter. We won't have the precise 60-meter alignment announced, but we will be able to considerably tighten that map that everyone is now familiar with the very wide corridors, and show an indicative alignment. So that's, you know, a question of months.